What did the How sound look like in the 60s?
Well, but there were certain things in it that I don't think are there anymore. There were quite a number of fairly big lingcod. The really big suckers had gone pretty well by 60. They'd been ones the size of a man. We're on to things like bunches of herring, whole blocks of herring going along. There's like this herring here, no herring here, and salmon rushing through them, that sort of thing. I don't think you see that much anymore.
What are the big changes you've seen?
Well, I think it's the big fish.
Yeah.
The big fish, the basking sharks are gone on the west coast pretty well, and the lingcod are gone pretty well from just little things like this. That was it. Mainly the big lingcod were gone, and the clouds of fish. they were down. Fish got to be pretty rare, any kind of fish, and the odd fish swimming by, but not schools of them hanging over things. You see the schools of rockfish sitting there, schools of perch sitting out.
Yeah, we don't see schools anymore.
You gotta have marine protected areas, big ones.
Yeah.
And nobody takes anything out of them. You can paddle over them and swim through them, and even go take boats across them, but you don't do anything into them.
What do you think we can do to make that change? What do we need to do to make that change?
Oh God, I don't know.
You've been at it a lot longer than
I try to. How do you change people to what they do? People do change in time, but not radically and not quickly, except in wartime.
So maybe we need a war.
Well, we got a war. We've got a war for our own survival, but nobody's listening to it. The worst thing, of course, happening now is this climate change stuff, acidification of the ocean, that kind of thing. That's going to be terrible. I think one of the things that's sad is the elimination of all big fish in the ocean. The horse mackerel on the Atlantic coast, the big sharks, the big tunas, everything. And they're all gone.
Do you think that Canada's taking the right steps right now, or do you think Canada's hopelessly lost?
Under this present government, Canada's hopelessly lost. This isn't on its agenda at all. So Canada, I think, is going to lag behind everybody else.
And what do you think of the oil and gas exploration?
Well, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. First of all, we can't burn the oil we've got already on hand. I mean, we just can't. We shouldn't. It's burning our own ancestors. And this is, we burned it 150 years, something it took out 10 and 20 million years to lay down. We've had all this carbon sequestered down there from millions of years. We burned it all in 100 years, and it's doubled the carbon dioxide in the air, and this has been disastrous. Oh, I've seen so many species go out of extinct and before me.
Right now, the common thought is the seals are killing all the fish. We're going to kill all the seals. How do you feel about it?
Back when the Portuguese first came here, and later the English and French and Dutch, there were piles of fish. You lower a basket overboard and catch cod, this sort of thing. And there's piles of skeels, piles of whales. Well, the sea was crawling with everything. Yeah. So these people went in, and great auks. There's also 8 fish. These guys are killing great auks to provision themselves, sealing for, or at least whaling for oil, this sort of thing. And they started killing things off. So anyway, there were still lots of seals. So seals weren't causing the fish to not be there. They're probably helping them to be there for some way. And now they're saying, well, they're eating all the fish. Well, I don't think they eat fish, but I don't think they eat sand lance and stuff like this. I don't think they eat cod, maybe a little cod they do.
Now they're talking about a cull of 300,000 gray seals up on Sable Island.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just supposed to be a national park.
Yeah.
Can't do that. No ice, and the ice is gone. This is the worst thing that's going to happen to the seals. They won't be able to have their pups on, except on the beach. Dogs and coyotes and everything will kill them.
Well, right now they've just opened up a new dogfish fishery, and that's...
We had so many dogfish, everybody thought they were a nuisance. Everybody caught a dogfish and immediately killed it. Yeah. But now, that's one thing I haven't seen for years. Dogfish, no dogfish. No dogfish now, son. Yeah. There may be some now, but I don't think so. No, they're just great big king crabs in these windows. The notches in the edge. Yeah. Great big bloody thing sitting there as big across from my arm and the carapace.
Wow, we're not seeing those anymore either.
I don't know where they went, but they were there. Yeah. Almost every window had a big king crab in it. tried to put lobster in this coast. They didn't get them here.
That is a true story that they actually did try to put lobster.
Oh yeah, the first batch they brought out, I turned them loose. They forgot to pull the pigs out of their claws, so they all vanished.
How about the East Coast stocks? Do you think that was overfishing, plain and simple?
Oh yeah, well it was dragging. 500 years they fished the Round Banks. Portuguese came over with their big barks, the white fleet every year. I remember it came early in the war to St. John's, and they had their dories, and they hand lined, long line from dories, and they put out the line, bring it in, they'd be caught on, and put out the next line. Maybe 2 or 3 casts a day. And they got all the cod they ever needed and made rich people in Europe and that sort of thing. Same thing in the North Sea and whatnot. And then about 1880, some Englishmen got a steam trawler and they took it out to the mouth of the Thames and they trawled. Within 10 years, there were no cod all on the coast between England and Holland. I caught them all out, Scotia. So they built these quite elaborate trawlers, quite the best. These things went out, and it was marvelous. The plants were going great. They were bringing in cod you couldn't beat hell. Within 10 years, it was gone. They had to close it. 10 years.
10 years.
And they'd wrecked the bottom so much that things didn't come back.
Yeah.
They're beginning to a bit now, I gather, but
Yeah.
it's going to take 100 years.
Yeah.
If they ever do. We were out guarding a cable ship at one point, right in the middle of the Atlantic, about 6,000 feet below us. And he was anchored, and we were circling around him. And every morning, dolphins would come up, horizon to horizon, about 10 deep, thick, diving. They'd go up, and they'd go over the other horizon. In the evening, back they'd come. We were fishing this huge area. I don't know what they were doing, but anyway, there they were. I don't know what kind of dolphin they were. I guess a bottlenose. There were lots of whales. I think technology is a big thing that's come along and helped us destroy the planet quickly. And maybe technology can pull us out of it, but I don't think so. No, I don't have any hope at all. I think it'll be a long time before the last breeding pair of humans dies. But I think they're going to have a tough time in this century